Greetings, folks, and welcome to another Kickstarter conversation. Your host here, James G., coming to you once again with my lovely wife off camera, making fun of this wonderful bit of technological achievement here I have with my Karaoke Revolution microphone. Yeah, let's step up from the built-in microphone. I think in the camera should have a bit less background audio, etc. So, well, without further ado, let's get started with talking a bit of a preview of some of the upcoming interviews I have and showcasing a few of the interesting Kickstarters that even if they don't finish the interview, I still at least get you a little video to talk about them. So in descending order from ending soonest, okay? This one has already ended, so we're going to have a nice post-mortem with the Love and Space people. Yes, that's their company name. They did their project Sunrider, a space visual novel tactical RPG. Now, these guys did something I agree with every video game Kickstarter that can, is that they've provided a demo. It's a 30-minute demo, shows a bit of the dialogue, some of the art. Pretty enjoyable. I liked it. But it's going to be a free release game, so I suggest you guys look at the links below and check it out. I'll have more with the interview here. We're hoping for a week or two, let things settle down for the initial funding, let them talk to their own backers directly, then talk to the general public like ourselves. It's an interesting concept, one that I personally like. It's a tactical RPG story kind of game along the lines of Fire Emblem, but less tactics, more visual novel. So if you know anything about visual novels, it's a bit not the most well-known here in America, but it's starting to pick up some steam, and I've seen several good Kickstarters of visual novels. Some I've supported, and I've spoken to you guys before about it, so long-time readers, you know what to expect. We have the Repopulation, a Sandbox RPG MMO, okay? These guys have been around before. This is the second time on Kickstarter. Last time they ended up with $53,000 pledged, which was 200% of what they wanted. So good job on them. So they've come back, and I am going to specifically ask them a bit, why they want to come back. They did a good job of talking about it in their campaign page, which, again, in the links. It's an interesting looking sandbox MMO, and personally I think sandbox MMOs have a better shelf life only if you get invested in the game. If you don't invest anything personally into it, it's going to probably be a lot of people who are used to the standard theme park MMO like World of Warcraft or Terra Online or even Guild Wars, you're going to be kind of bored, I think, with a lot of sandbox MMOs. If you're not one for EVE Online, seriously, this one might be a pass for some of you, but any of you who are looking for more than your typical, I'm going to hit level cap and then move on to the next game, you might want to give the Repopulation a look. They've been around at PAX East and PAX Prime last year, and it sounds like they did a lot of good stuff and have been getting a lot of good buzz. So take a look at them, and I'll be talking to them soon. Next up from KISS Limited, we have Project Nimbus. This looks very reminiscent of Strike Suit Zero, but instead of being mecha in space, it's mecha in atmosphere, at least from what we're seeing so far. It looks to be a very fast-paced mecha combat game where all from third-person view behind your mecha. Looks like there'll be some customization, and it should be a really fast-paced, Macross Missile Mayhem kind of thing, where you're dodging missiles left and right and killing robot after robot after robot. So good, plain action fun. I hope to hear from them soon. They've written back to me. I haven't gotten contact set up with the actual interview. Should be, again, hopefully next week. Early next week. We're looking Tuesday, Wednesday, I hope. They're in the UK, so they're a little ahead of me. That helps sometimes because I'm switching to mid-shift this week. So, yeah, my normal day-to-day job makes for more time for writing, not necessarily more time for videos. So here's hoping. Next up, this one, I've already gotten the interview back from Mr. Anderson. Yes, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Greg Anderson is coming to us from all the way down in New Zealand. The Kiwis are coming up with the Ultmate Aircooled race engine. Now, what's so interesting about this? Well, for one thing, it's a Volkswagen Flat 4 race engine. Anybody who knows anything about engines pretty much knows that most engines aren't air-cooled anymore. especially not racing engines. And this guy is looking to try to build a 2,000 horsepower engine. So interesting looking project, a bit of an underperformer, I think, and for several reasons. I mean, let's be honest, this is an expensive project. He's looking for $40,000 New Zealander, and his starting backer price is $50. And I asked him point blank about that, and you'll find out more if you come back and read the interview. Should be up, I hope, Thursday, maybe Thursday, Friday for all of you from down under, okay? So that one ends in 21 days, so we're good 3 weeks out. We're getting some good buffer time. A bit of the sausage making. I try to do interviews with projects that have at least 10 days of time on them, and the reason why is it gives us time to talk back and forth, make the initial communications to set up the interview, write the documentation, have them fill it out. It takes a bit of time, and if it's less than 10 days, I've found that it's so much of a rush, the interview itself can be damaged and not up to the quality that we're looking for. Other times is they're in the final stretch. Let's be honest, people. Kickstarter creations, the creators do a lot of stuff during the project if they're doing well, and of course we want them to be doing well. So I don't want to jump in on that whole last week preparation stuff. Getting last week stuff posted, perfectly fine. That's why I said 10 days normally gives you 3 days to do the interview and gets posted up as they go into the last week. Good little bit of final push. But if you're thinking of running a Kickstarter and you want to be interviewed, you let me know ahead of time. Or at least if you're looking at a Kickstarter and you want me to interview them, if it's below 10 days, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pass. No matter how awesome it is, normally it's too late. So keep that in mind. As we move on to the next one, this one's the Ladder Morph with Dino. I'm not going to say your last name, sir, because I butcher names. So that's why I do written interviews a lot. The Ladder Morph is a very, just one of those, head-slapping kind of concepts. But at the same time, I'm worried that it might be, have issues with government regulations because it's a construction tool. Not necessarily a construction tool. How would I say this? It's a tool to add utility to tools you already have. In this case, ladders. Again, a simple concept. The idea of, hey, look, I've got these straight ladders, and I need an A ladder. Why can't I just connect two straight ladders together? And again, it sounds kind of like, why hasn't this been done before, and who the heck needs this? Well, painters, contractors, electricians, there are a lot of people who have lots of straight ladders because, straight ladders are the basic, common, most used thing. And occasionally you need that AFrame ladder. And what do you have to do right now? Well, you have to rent it. Or you buy it and you're carrying around this AFrame that you're not using 90% of the time. So, especially tall AFrames. Tall AFrames are rare. 16 feet, I think, is the common maximum height one. And, if you're going more than 16 feet, sorry, can't do it with an A-frame. You'll need full-on scaffolding. So it's an interesting concept. I think it's a nice project. At the same time, it seems to suffer from Kickstarter newbie syndrome, where the video is poor, the backer rewards levels are poorly explained, there's no real budget breakdown. But, I'm giving it a fair shot. He has an interview coming up here. Again, hopefully Thursday. He's already sent it back to me. I just have to edit it, post it up. So you'll know soon how well he's doing. So here's hoping Dino can come through, but we'll see. And hopefully with help from you, even if he fails this first attempt, he can come back again and make something better that works. It's not the problem. This is one of those... When I do reviews of Kickstarters, some people may not quite understand that I do a dual review. One is on how well the campaign itself is. And what I mean by that is, how well do you sell your product? Some people are really good at selling things. The old line is, I can sell water to a drowning man. Some people, I've found a lot of creative folks, just do not know how to sell anything. They have the greatest product in the world, but they can't tell you why it's great. They can't tell you, if you're not thinking the way they are inside that zone, they really have no clue how to sell you anything. And there are others who can sell anything and everything to anyone and anyone. And that's why I do that 2-level review. that two-level interview, so that on the one hand you can see, hey, look, this is how good the product is. They may not be able to tell you why, and it may not be sold very well, but I think it's a good product. Or on the other hand, I think they're doing a really good job selling something. I may not like it. I've seen a lot of those really weird key ring holders, wallets, and playing cards that I don't think the product is very interesting or good. But they do a good job selling it, and that's key. So both of them are extremely important, and that's why I give them separate review numbers. And this Ladder Morph one, I think, would definitely get a pretty good mark, like a 4 probably for the product. I mean, look at the video; it's in the link. But the product itself, I think, is really interesting. But the sales, the campaign, and the salesmanship, it's a 2-part program, guys, and you need to work on all parts. And I hope in the following year, with some of these videos and things like that, and you look at the last year's interviews, you can see what not to do, what to do. And that's why I'm trying to do more postmortems and ahead of time interviews, so we can talk about these type of things. Like not launching in December. Seriously, do not launch in December. Okay, next up, we have Predestination, the 3D ship designer, a turn-based space 4X game. Now, this suffers from, bad titleitis, but the game itself is called Predestination, and it's an interesting-looking 4X space game. And if anybody who's followed any of my social streams know, I love 4X games. I've played, I'd say, pretty much all of them when it comes to space 4X games, including a lot of the bad ones. And I have ones that have voted up and dropped. Yes, we all want Massive Orion again. Some say 1, some say 2. I personally like 2. Call me a crazy person, if you will. But Massive Orion is one of the classic all-time space 4X games. And Predestination is another one who wants to take that title. And they had a successful Kickstarter before. They came in, again, I think last year, they got... December 28th of 2012 they finished. And even with a December campaign, they got $49,000, which was almost twice their funding goal. So, but imagine if they hadn't run in December. These guys were also one of the early UK Kickstarters. So it's good to see the guys coming back from UK to talk to us again. Finally talk to me. They've already hit their goal of 3,500. They're doing a lot. What they're doing is, instead of saying they've already funded the game, in fact, they've sent me the early demos, and I hope to do a video of them for you guys too. But they've done the combat demo, and I believe the other one is the terraforming demo. So I will talk to you about that specifically later on, as my wife continues to make fun of me over here on the side. I wish you could see it, but she won't let me turn the camera around because she'll kill me. Anyways, I've set up an interview with the Predestination guys. They've already sent me these demo things, so I hope to have good conversation with them and talk to you about them probably next week. It'll probably be up looking for a Tuesday, Wednesday release probably. I hope. Fingers crossed. As for videos, that depends on me figuring out how to stream the videos. So anybody have any, suggestions? Down in here. I do have an NVIDIA video card, a GTX 660. So if that helps, let me know. I've heard something about their video recording that I could use. Okay, next up, with 39 days to go, the CEO, or maybe not the CEO, but ISI Technologies has agreed to talk to me about HEATWORKS Model 1. It's a new kind of electric water heater. Now, instead of like the classic water heater, this is one of those tankless ones where they heat up the water instantaneously as it goes through. Supposedly, it's got some interesting advances in technologies in that part, and I will hopefully find out more when I talk to them here in the next week or so. Again, this one has like 39 days, so honestly, it'll be bumped back probably a week, but that should hopefully give us enough time to come up with some good questions. So if you guys, see it in the link and like it, come back, post here, so the rest of us can know, and most likely your question will be asked directly to the campaign guys, and you can do it on the campaign too if you want. But if you want to ask, within the interview context, so everybody who reads the blog or watches these videos sees it, go right ahead. I've had reader comments and questions asked directly to Kickstarter creators, so don't be shy. I enjoy, reader feedback and interactivity. So there's that. But yeah, who would have thought? Kickstarter, hot water heaters. They do a little bit of everything, and I think that's one of the greatest things about Kickstarter, and one of its greatest weaknesses, depending on who you talk to. So for me, I think it's all a good thing, because you get to this next guy. This would be Robin Bristow from Australia. Yes, same place as my wife. From down under, he has Bigmouth Funnels. I guess these were in stores. I look forward to talking to him. I've sent him the interview questions, and I believe he's responded to me already, so we should see this one rather soon. Even though there's 41 days to go left on his campaign, and he's almost reached his goal. It was nice to talk to an Aussie, and I don't know, it's a little of a bias. I tend to talk to Aussies sooner than others. I don't know, I just find them nice people. I married one, so. Anyways, the Bigmouth funnel is basically a dry goods funnel that folds flat. And if you look at it, you're like, I've done that before with paper. I know I have. So what is so interesting? The guy decided, hey, I did that with paper too. Why don't I make it with something that's a little more permanent and can be used regularly for pouring jams and jellies? Or what does he say? He says refilling salt and pepper grinders, or as he says, when transferring jams and chutney into bottles. Chutney. Yep. I had to look that one up. Not something I've ever had to transfer into bottles. But hey, to each their own. And I think that's a great thing about Kickstarter and just the creative process in general, is that sometimes it's the simplest little things that makes you go, what? Like, somebody invented the pen. And again, you think about it now, it's just like, oh, okay, that's a dime with the rack, But when it first came about, this was a game changer, and whoever invented this made a lot of money, if it happened right. I don't know the exact story. I mean, the one of the monkeys, his mom invented whiteout, for crying out loud. And again, it's something simple that's used regularly, and it's small, and individually costs nothing, next to nothing, $1. And then you find out that there's millions of them sold. So, volume helps. And I think this is just a funny it's a funnel. We all know what funnels are. We know what funnels do. We know how to make a funnel. And all he's doing is making it a simple, high-quality product that fills a niche. I would like to use it for filling up sugar. I make a mess when I transfer sugar from those stupid bags to the nice containers I have. Or salt. There are nice little things that a funnel would be great for, but you don't want to have that stupid teepee floating around in a drawer somewhere. And he just made one that folded flat and held together when in use with little tabs. Look at the pictures. It is the simplest little thing. And you're like, and here he is. He's making some money off of it, and I think, good show to you. Bravo, and I look forward to speaking to him. And finally, I happened to catch this last one off of Polygon, because Polygon's over at CES this week, and there's some interesting little Oculus Rift stuff. And again, anybody who knows me has known how much I enjoy talking about the Oculus Rift, even though I haven't yet play around with one. Hint, hint, Oculus guys. But these guys are the YEI technology. Yay. I could say Yi just because, that's my last name, but I don't think the I works for that. But they're working on the PrioVR system. I guess they came to Kickstarter back in, I want to say, October of last year, and it didn't work out for them. They only got 111,000, and for those of you who aren't aware, that Kickstarter is an all-or-nothing thing. If they didn't reach their goal, in this case, 225,000, they got nothing. Absolutely. 327 backers and 111,000, pledged, got $0. Yet somehow they've shown up at CES this year and are rumored or planned or announced that they're going to do another try here in February, now that they've actually had a show appearance and I guess more time to work on the product. And what is their product, you say? Well, it is a motion control system that doesn't require cameras. It seems to be an upper body to a full body VR control rig in a lot of ways. We're talking, Ready Player One type stuff, where you have the entire suit and it's supposed to, look, this is where my arm is positioned in space. And with an Oculus VR, you can now look at your arm and see it moving around. So I think this is one of those things that we are still trying to figure out how to have. We're still trying to figure out a good way of controlling the experience while in a virtual reality simulation that the Oculus Rift allows. And at the same time, let players who don't know how to play anything with a standard like a gamepad to play. Everybody who plays video games rather can move around, use a controller without seeing it. No worries. But I'm pretty sure my wife couldn't. Is that right, babe? Yeah, see? She couldn't use a controller to move around the world while seeing it here. I mean, you could see everything, but now she can't see the controller, and she gets lost in Mass Effect if she wasn't careful. So having a way of moving around in a virtual space where you can't see your own physical form, but you can see your digital form, I think will be a big help in moving us forward into this augmented or virtual reality. So good on them. I'm looking forward to talking to them. I've gotten the contact information for them. Currently, they're at the convention, so I don't expect to get instantaneous contact back, and it's okay. I mean, they're not planning to launch until February, so this is sneak peek. Hopefully, fingers crossed, contact with them. So here's looking forward to the PRIO, PRIOVR guys over at YEI Technology, yay or yeah, whatever technology. So I look forward to talking to them. Also, for those of you who are been subscribing thanks to my Serpent's Tongue video, don't worry. I do plan to do more Serpent's Tongue videos, and because honestly, I want to try it out some more. Other than that, I'm hoping to make this a regular thing. Every week or 2 weeks, I hope to do a video, annoy the wife, and tell about what I'm going to be doing on the blog, as well as do a couple other videos describing what not to do, what to do, some hints and tips that I've been picking up over the years, talking to all these creators. So here's hoping to see you in 2014 as we go forward for another year of crowdfunding with Kickstarter Conversations.